You have to give it a minute because it'll pop up. Hello, hello. We are, press it. You have to give it a minute. We are live. Hello, hello. This is Let's Vámonos Live, and I'm your host, Desiree. We're super excited to be here. Thank you so much for joining us, and we're going to be getting some people on. I've got my handy little laptop, or not laptop, my handy little iPad here, and we are going to see who's on live with us. Oh, forgot this mute. Don't want to hear any back voice stuff. We have a different setup today, so bear with me. I might be a little like discombobulated or out of wits, but that's okay. But if you are joining us today here on Let's Almost Live, one, please drop a line and say hello. We want to hear from you. We want to see who's on and joining us, and I will definitely try to say hello as well as we get through this live. Two, we've got a lot to cover because it is November. It is the beginning of the month, and we're here at the wonderful Sesh Co-Working Space here at 2808 Caroline Street. We are super excited to be here because there is a lot going on and there's a lot for us to share. So I've got my handy notes here. So just as a reminder, Sesh Co-Working Space is not just for the creatives, it's also for the working professionals. So if you ever want to stop in and get a space that is a little bit more creative out of your box, you definitely want to come check it out here. And then you can always take a tour and they'll give you a little gift as well. So come out here, 2808 Caroline Street, Sesh Co-Working Space here in Houston, Texas, and there are our wonderful partners. We also have a wonderful guest today, which is Catherine Pedraza, which is the founder of Latina Millionaires Club, which we're super excited to have her. For those that did not know, she was on a wonderful panel for Las Meras Fest for National Latina Day. So if you didn't get to hear her there, you're going to get to hear her today. And we're actually going to have a more one-on-one conversation. It's not just going to be what we did at Las Meras Fest. We're going to get a little bit more personal, a little more deep, right? So we're excited about that. But also, we have a bunch of community events. So the community events that are going to be happening here at Sesco that you can, Sesco Working Space, that you can join are starting tomorrow. So tomorrow is wonderful election day, y'all. If you haven't voted, it is your last opportunity to do so. So please make it out. Just find your voting poll location, find where you can vote. But if you've already voted and you want to, I guess, have a watch party with the wonderful ladies here at Sesh Co-Working Space, they're going to be here having an election watch party. They're going to have snacks and, music and just kind of be upbeat and just come together as a community to be able to support each other, right? This is a very important time for our nation. So we're excited about that. Let me see who's on. I see Jessica's watching. Thank you so much, Jessica. We appreciate you dropping in. Another thing that is happening on this week for Seshco is November 7th, they're having a smash party. And you're probably wondering, what is that? What is a smash party? So they're going to be actually giving you an opportunity to smash their old copy printer maker, the old Bertha, they call it. It's called Bertha. So you get an opportunity to rage against the machine and beat up a printer for $15, 5 swings for $15. And this is a great opportunity because it's also to support the LGBTQ community and also the SESH Foundation. So this is money that will be going towards their foundation to help give women free or give them the opportunity to have a space here if they need to work. So this is a great opportunity. I think I'm going to definitely join in on the swings because we don't know what's going to happen on Tuesday. So we might need some swings on Wednesday, but or Thursday, actually, November 7th. But I forgot to mention November 6th. If you want to treat me with something, November 6th is my birthday, y'all. I'll be turning the lucky number 42. So I'll be the MVP 42. I'm super excited about that. I always forget to kind of like shout myself out, but my birthday is November 6th, y'all. I'm a Scorpio, just in case you want to know. And like, you can gift me anything. If I need to send you my Zelle, I'll send you my Zelle. Another last, a couple more things on the community events because we got a lot. I want to make sure we share them all. So we've got a vendor call for our wonderful HTX holiday picks. So actually, Jessica Renee is on with us right now. And Jessica Renee, if you drop the link, that would be great, or drop the tag, that would be great in the comments. But to this month, she is dropping her or launching her website, which is November 11th. And she's promoting an online guide for small business owners for the Christmas season. So we're super excited. They're also local women owned businesses. So we want to help support. She's looking for more vendors. There is a $10 participation fee. So if you want to participate, that will help contribute to the website launch and help her fund her website as well. So we definitely want to help her out. She's a small business. We appreciate her, and we want to make sure she's we can help her as much as we can. So that will launch on November 11th. Last but not least on the community events is Jolt Action. So Jolt Action is having an event called Arribas las Mujeres. It is a virtual event, and it will be online on November 9th. And we'll be sharing more details. There's going to be some wonderful speakers and guests and women of Latina women coming out to talk about all kinds of things, wealth management, mental health. And this is a virtual event. It's a 2-day event, actually. So November 9th and then November 16th. And I'm a part of that. As y'all know, I am one of the artists in residence. So I will definitely be joining for both events. And I'm super excited to support them and to be a part of their community as well. So that's it on the community events, y'all. I know that's a lot. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot of the community events. But we are, no further ado, we want to bring on our wonderful guest, who is Cat Pedraza, or Catherine Pedraza, the founder of Latina Millionaires Club. So come on, Cat. Thank you. We need some music, right? I need some like sounds, some sound drums or
I know,
something.
I could have given you
merengues or something.
My walk-on music.
Yeah, your walk-on music. Yeah. But thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
Yeah. And for those that are joining or you're just dropping in, just like I said, drop a line. Let us know that you're here joining with us. We know it's a Monday night, but we also know that you can always watch this later on if you're not watching live right now. Okay. So trending cheeseman time, y'all. This is the good stuff. Do we need to take our jackets off for the trending cheeseman?
Oh gosh, it's hot. Okay, the tea is hot.
Yeah, the tea's hot. I'm gonna take my jacket off because it is gonna be some hot trending cheeseman. And as y'all know, we talk about the trending cheeseman on our Instagram page for you to chime in. We want to hear from you. So if you ever get a chance to chime in and listen, please do so. And then we can also want to hear what y'all's thoughts are. So did you see any of the trending cheeseman? Because I know you kind of sometimes peep in on the page.
Yeah, I sometimes do. I haven't seen for this week, so
Okay,
I think
perfect.
I'm about to be surprised.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So, well, we're gonna start off a little, kind of our condolences. So the first thing that's trending is Quincy Jones passed away. He was 91 years old. He was a wonderful, creative and musical legend, icon in the Black community, and also just in the hip hop, R&B music community, like all communities. So we just want to acknowledge that he did pass away, and so our condolences to his family. And he was just such an icon. So that's one thing that is trending right now. So are you familiar with Quincy Jones as well?
Yeah, I was just thinking about his impact, like just the impact that he's created with, I mean, just culture, like just such a huge cultural icon.
Yeah.
Really sad.
So, but we've got some other wonderful trending cheeseman topics. Y'all, I tried to do this in a way that makes also sense to our community as well. So if you haven't heard, here in Houston, 96.5 The Mix has Latina in the morning, the Dana Cortez show. It launched actually today. They had their first radio morning show. So I don't know if you listen to 96.5 The Mix. I do, because I used to listen to Jesse Watt and Sarah Pepper, and they're no longer part of the team. But I was so excited when they said the Dana Cortez show was coming, because y'all, she's from California, and also she is a Latina icon in the radio industry as a woman as well. So have you heard about it?
Exciting. Yeah, I haven't heard about it. I'll definitely need to tune in to 96.5. It's been a minute since I used to listen, I think back when it was a Sarah Pepper show. I mean, way before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll
Yeah.
have to tune in.
So they're gonna have a lot. I'm just excited because y'all,
that is exciting.
to have a Latina on radio in the morning, like that's what I want to listen to. I want to hear what she got to say because she's got a lot of knowledge to share, I'm sure. So I'm excited. So we're definitely rooting for them. We hope that they have a great first season. And then another thing that was trending is have you heard that Salma Hayek revealed that she does not have a prenup
Oh
or did
wow.
not sign a prenup for her marriage?
Oh, that's interesting. No, I haven't heard that.
So she
Wow.
just revealed on the Wall Street Journal interview that she just had. So
That's
if you're
bold.
interested, like definitely go check it out. But she does not have a prenup. She's been married to her husband 15 years.
Wow.
Um, I want to know your
Ah,
thoughts.
I'm like, thoughts. I wonder if she would consider a post-nup. Like that's an option to do a post-nup. But yeah, I'm curious. I wonder if she's rethinking that now
After
after,
saying it.
yeah, or like, like after 15 years, or maybe she's, feels really secure, good about the relationship that she's in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if I were Salma Hayek, I'd have to consider a post-nup or
Yes.
something.
So for those that don't know, Salma Hayek is married to a billionaire. He owns luxury businesses such as Gucci. I want to say maybe Louis Vuitton. He also runs the Christie's auction
Oh,
house,
right.
the
Mm-hmm.
Christie's auction house. So he has his own money. But she did also reveal in the interview that their accounts are separate or their finances are separate.
Mm.
So I thought that was
Yeah, that
interesting.
is interesting. I mean, I can see that too, right? Like two really essentially self-made people
Hmm.
having separate finances. So that does make more sense now that you say why she doesn't have a prenup or postnup
Yeah.
because they've maybe already had that arrangement going in.
Yeah, their
Makes
finances
sense.
are separate. She makes her
Hmm.
own money. She wants to make more money, y'all.
Who doesn't?
We got Connie Leon on the live, and we're gonna wave at you. Thank you, Connie, for joining. Oh, I
Hey,
see
Connie.
Christina. She joined in with a social butterfly. Thank you so much for joining.
Hey, Christina.
Hi, Christina. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate it. We love any comments and I'll try to remember to check this over here on the side. Um, but yeah, so that was a big deal. Like Salma Hayek, she's such a also an icon for women, for us as well. She's
Mm-hmm.
self-made. She's made her own money. She also has a wonderful women's organization foundation for to provide for like a nonprofit. So she has that going on. She has a
Yeah.
fundraiser. She does philanthropy. So I'm just kind of like blown away when she revealed that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
she's not like in her 30s or 40s. She's I think in her 60s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, almost in no, excuse me. She's
She's in her
58.
50s.
She's
Okay.
58. She's
Okay.
58. Sorry, Salma. I didn't mean to age you there. But
I
yeah,
mean, she still looks great.
yeah. So just definitely wanted to I was so glad that topic came up because you obviously Latina Millionaires Club, you talk a lot
Mm-hmm.
about money and all those
Yeah.
things that come into play. And so it was just kind of like, wow, that's
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. It's a big decision. I wonder, I mean, I can see going in, right? Like deciding these things are going to be separate. I'm curious. I mean, I hope they had that discussion, right?
right.
Like when you're getting married, having that finance discussion.
Those
But
discussions with your loved ones.
yeah,
A couple just cute little things that are happening as well. The new pygmy hippo is here in Houston. If you haven't seen it,
I have not seen it.
it's trending right now. It's taking over Houston, the new pygmy hippo. I don't know, y'all. It's like the slimy hippo. I don't know. Like, I'm not really sure about it, but obviously that's trending. And then we chatted a little bit about, or I mentioned it earlier about voting. Have you
I've
voted?
voted. Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's important. And then
Mm-hmm.
just a quick reminder, like, if you haven't voted, tomorrow is the
Please
day.
vote.
Yeah,
Please vote.
tomorrow's the day.
Yes.
Okay, we got some comments here from Connie. She said, separate accounts has always been my way to go. I've never had one account when I was married. And then she said, yes, she's 58, but looks amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting.
It's very
Interesting.
interesting. Something to explore more. Like, or
Yeah.
I'm curious about how
Yeah.
she came to that
Yeah. What
decision.
do you think about her comment though? She said, I've
Oh,
never had one account when I was married. So is this something?
yeah. I mean, I will say personally, like me and my husband keep our finances for the most part separate. Like we decide monthly, or not necessarily monthly. Like we already have a plan for our finances. But for the most part, we keep most of our money separately, and then we have like separate joint accounts to kind of keep track with our expenses.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a matter of preference. I know people who like to have
All the
the
money too.
commingling. It's called like commingling of funds. My husband has his business and my business, so it's just like to us easier to keep it separate.
Keep it separate.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll get more into that if y'all have any questions as well. Oh, we got a question here. She's Christina says, same. My husband and I have separate accounts as well and joint, and both of us have business accounts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
business accounts. It tends to like make things not, I don't want to say messy, but like when you're sometimes moving funds around, it makes sense to have them separate, I
yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. But that was it for our trending cheesemate. Again, we appreciate those that have joined in and chatted with us. If you're ever interested in chiming in on the trending cheesemate, please do so, and you can chime in on the stories even afterwards as well. So we appreciate that. Let me see if there's anybody I've missed. Yeah, thank you so much if you're joined with us today. And then as we get into the conversation, y'all, because this is gonna be a really good conversation. I haven't had a chance to really chat with you.
Yeah.
So you were on Las Meta Metas, which was
Mm-hmm.
great. Yeah, it's so appreciative that you joined with us.
Yeah, it was amazing. Thank you for having me. And it was a
Yes,
beautiful event for those that
yes,
didn't get a chance to go. And hopefully
yes.
it'll happen next year.
Yes, yes. We're definitely working on it. It's definitely on the plans. But I wanted to see if you would also like to share a little fun fact about yourself that people might not know about you, that you could, that, right off the bat, right? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
something that not maybe a lot of people might not know about you. So any fun facts you'd like to share?
Oh my gosh, fun fact.
I'm putting her
I'm
on the
like
spot.
emphasis on fun. Fun fact. I'll share this because I mean this might be a question that come up. I don't know if it comes up. I don't know if it's fun, but like I always get the question, "Are you a millionaire?"
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
and I'm like, "No, actually, I'm not. I started Latina Millionaires Club because I saw the potential." So that's always a question that comes up, and I don't know. I think it's a fun fact, but
Yeah, yeah.
it may not
Not
be fun.
yet.
Not yet.
Not
Yeah.
yet, right? Yeah, I do agree. I think it's also these presumptions or assumptions of what
Mm-hmm.
people think that a business or a brand is supposed to look like, or the
Yeah.
people behind it, right? Because
Right.
I really think a lot of y'all think I make like bucos of money. I really think, and I'm just like letting y'all know, like I am a struggling small business, just like so many out there, a struggling creative as well. But we got the Latina Millionaires Club to hopefully help all of us not
Yeah.
be so struggling. So, as far as, let me make sure I've covered everything. I'm looking at my notes, y'all. But yeah, so as far as getting into what you do, and tell us a brief synopsis of what the Latina Millionaires Club is.
Yeah, I think what had me create it, right? It was really just, it came from an idea of a lot of us growing up as Latinas, as women, one, it's really uncomfortable to talk about money. Two, the idea of becoming a millionaire is really hard. You have to work really hard and do all of these things. And when it came about for me, I was like, well, actually, it's not that hard because I was able, looking at my own finances, seeing exactly when I was going to become a millionaire. And I'm like, I don't really have to do anything to create this other than invest, right? So that was a big piece of it, is just one, help people understand how accessible it can be to us just by using the different resources that we already have access to. But then, like, being bold enough to say that as Latinas and as women, we really can become millionaires and we really should in a lot of ways. That's what's going to help us shape, in my opinion, policies going forward in the next 20, 30 years. So I don't know if that's a nutshell, but that was really the why behind creating it. I just wanted a space to say, like, hey, it's safe for you to dream. It's safe for you to say, I'm going to be a millionaire. And as women and as Latinas, like being able to have access to the resources we need to do that.
Yeah, no, I love it. Because I think I had mentioned to you previously and chatted at the Las Matameras Fest, but I never really thought about being a million. That's never been like a goal on my bucket list or a goal on my list of any kind of like, oh, maybe I'll be a millionaire one day, right? It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't really until your organization, your business came up, and my amiga Connie Leon was talking about it, and I was like, millionaire, okay, right? And these are the people you want to be around, y'all. I'm just telling you, you want to be around people who are going to make you want to be bigger and better in all kinds of ways, financially,
Mm-hmm.
your business, all of those things. So I think it's great that, one, I've seen firsthand the help that you have done for Connie, and then also I've seen the firsthand
Love you, Connie.
of the mindset as well. And even though I'm not a client of yours, like she's also, I'm around her. So we have these
Mm-hmm.
conversations about like, money and what it means, and also the mindset of that there's plenty of it actually.
Mm-hmm.
And so
So much. It's
yeah,
crazy.
and it is really crazy. And the minute you start thinking, like, y'all, there's so many things that have happened to me this past month that like not only has some, it's the mindset, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
Lord is answering all my prayers.
Oh, I love it. That's amazing.
Yeah, because like I said, at the end of the day, yeah, I might be struggling, but I do have everything going in a direction that is positive.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Yeah.
also been my mindset.
Yeah.
I was literally talking to my mom yesterday about technology and equipment and all these things are wonderful, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if you rely on it too much, then you'll never do it. And I actually used to have a laptop, y'all, that used to shut down like every hour, every 30 minutes, like, and it was so random. And I told myself, had I given up after that first time it shut down on me
Mm-hmm.
on at a guest, I would
Mm-hmm.
never be in this spot right now where I'm
Yeah.
at right now. And so it's about persevering and having that mindset.
Yeah, that's so huge.
So share a little bit about like some of the, obviously we don't want to share all your secrets, but at the same time
I'll
share.
share them.
Oh, share them. Okay. But we want to share with the community out there that is thinking about like, okay, I don't have this mindset of enough. What are
Mm-hmm.
some first steps to get to that? What are some first steps that you kind of work with?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big question. Just thinking about how do you shift your mind from a place of like, I never have enough, right? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
never, even thinking about people in the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Like, if you're stuck in, I never have enough to get from one paycheck to the next, or there's never enough money in my bank account. It's always going out so fast. Like, staying in that, that is a mindset, right? And it's just a place of like, you will continue to attract those things if you stay in that space of everything is leaving me.
Mm.
Because
Versus everything coming.
versus everything is coming. Because if you think about even from a relationship perspective with another person, like if you're constantly thinking about, oh, this person is gonna leave me or whatever, like you're repelling that person, right? Like, and it's the same to me. Like I really see it the same with money. Even though money is like really just a neutral thing, it's not something you want to have a committed relationship in that sense, but it's still a similar idea of like if you're trying to hold on to it or wondering where it's going or like I don't know where like figuring out trying to figure out where all these zeros are zeros are coming from in the bank account, right? Like the negative zeros, not the
Yeah.
$1 million zeros.
Yeah.
Then you'll continue to attract more. At least that's what I believe. So I think starting to shift to a place of abundance really is if it's not your bank account, but just looking around you, right? Like the breath that we can breathe currently is really abundant. Looking at maybe going outside and looking at different trees and nature. I know it sounds crazy, but that can start to help open your mind to think, oh, there's more out here than just whatever is in my bank account, right?
Right.
And then beyond that, I really think about what started me on the path was like looking at these really big tech companies who are bringing in millions of dollars,
Mhm.
billions of dollars on a daily basis, making these really big financial deals. And when you start to think about that, like all of that money is out there. There's just like a disconnect of like getting it into your hands, right? But like starting to understand that there's so much out there and you don't have to just look at what's the zeros or whatever's coming into your bank account now, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
No, for sure. And I think as a Latina community and a Latino community as well, we don't really talk about this mindset stuff. This mindset stuff is kind of like something that is we've actually been indoctrinated in a certain type of mindset. Then it's not until we kind of meet people that are out of the box, we're like, "Oh, I never really thought about that." Like I said, I
Mm-hmm.
never really thought about being a millionaire, and not necessarily like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a millionaire tomorrow," right, y'all? I'm just talking about in the sense of like, oh yeah, there's a possibility of that. I
Mm-hmm.
never really thought of that.
Yeah.
And even as a third generation Latina or Mexican American, I've always also kind of had a little bit of that scarcity mindset.
We do.
And
It's
so
okay.
let's talk a little bit about that, about how our culture has affected, like the scarcity mindset has affected us, not just as the one on one, but as a community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, always when I think about this topic, I like encourage anyone to approach it with a lot of forgiveness, right? Because I think those of us who grew up as immigrants, my dad immigrated from Mexico when he was a kid. And so seeing, what his family went through, right? Or even my mom's family, like growing up in these spaces of scarcity, it actually, goes into their blood. And then that blood is passed on to me, a child, right? I don't know
Right.
if that's something that anyone has considered. So maybe the scarcity mindset that we have probably didn't come from us.
Right.
And so it's okay to say, like, oh, I'm going to release that. Or and it's maybe not as simple as that, but taking the steps we can take to release it. But also having forgiveness for like the spaces that were not available to us, that could not teach us about money, could not teach us how to have a positive relationship with even a positive relationship, right? In general, not to mention money. Those spaces were not available to us when we were growing up. So just like allowing ourselves to forgive that, hey, yeah, that happened. And there's a path to move forward now, though.
Right.
So you can start to like release a lot of those scarcity mindset thoughts and things that might be plaguing us now.
Yeah, I think it's super important to learn that we as people and as women and as first gen or second gen or third gen, we have the power. We have so much power that like you said, releasing that, it can be so
Hmm.
empowering. And so
Yeah.
I admire that about you. I think, like I said, I've been empowered by the people that I've surrounded myself with, and they've also been connected with you. And so that's kind of like,
Mm.
it's like this osmosis type thing, right?
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
even though we're not directly working with each other, me being around surrounded by people who are working with you, it's like, oh wow, I'm getting a lot of
Hmm.
like education as well. But
Yeah.
also, let's talk a little bit about some of the misconceptions that maybe people think that when they hire you, that
Okay.
the misconceptions of what you do.
Okay. I love that. The misconceptions is what I do. I think that yeah, there's so many, so I'm kind of like, oh, where do we start? A big one is that like, thinking, so I call myself a money coach, right? So I'm someone that's going to teach you how to make decisions or how to shift this relationship with money, whatever it is. I teach how to shift. I don't do things for you. So I think that's really, really important. I'm not a financial advisor, right? Like I'm not someone that's going to tell you you're going to make millions of dollars in the market if you do this. That's not my job,
Yeah.
not my role. So, but there are people that will do that, but there's also like this level of discernment that has to happen. So there are those misconceptions, and also that like I'm going to, force you to stick to a budget, or um I don't know, I'm trying to think of other things, but it's very limiting, I think, sometimes, where when we think about money, our mindsets can be limited with the what we can create with it. And so like really my role, I feel like, is to help people open up their minds
Hmm.
and think about how to do things differently. What feels good to you? What's a way that you want to receive money right now, right? And
Yeah.
just like not working as hard, maybe not hustling, and trying to release those things that don't serve us. I know that doesn't sound like, what does that have to do with money, in a lot
Yeah.
of ways, but it's really on this path to help women create like an overall more wealthy feeling life
Hmm.
that they don't want to run away from at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So that's my goal, even though it starts with, yeah, we're working on your money. And of course, you're going to make more money just with my approach from that way, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, I wanted to share that. I'm glad you share that because I think, like you said, some people they think, oh, I'm going to hire a money coach and she's going to tell me X, Y, and Z, and then I'm going to have all this money, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's also kind of similar to hiring like a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Like when you get a personal trainer and he or she is going to tell me exactly how to lose weight. And sometimes that's not always the case, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely a mindset as well. One of
Yeah.
the things, though, I wanted to also chime in on about is, oh, I lost my train of thought for a second, but the fact that you mentioned about attracting the money
Mm.
and how that happens. So I want to share a little personal story, y'all, and I don't know if I've shared this with you, but for some that do know, I've been singing all my life. I've been singing since I was 9 years old, and I started back singing at church. This January I started, and I was super excited about that, and I really was happy about doing that. And then I realized I started to attract something that I did not know there was an opportunity for, and I had people asking me to hire me to sing.
That's amazing.
And I was like, and it was actually another fellow mentor as well, Elva Trevino. She
Mm-hmm.
talks about like you should use your gifts in whatever ways, and it's attract that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was singing at church, and people were like, "Hey, can you sing at my wedding? Hey, can you sing at my quinceañera?" And
That's so
I
cool.
was like, what? And here, this whole
Yeah.
time, I had kind of, I hadn't been singing for personal reasons, but then when I got back into it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go into this just very open and put it out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what I was attracting was also very open as
That's so
well.
cool. Yeah.
So it is a mindset. It is ability to, like you said, you don't have to I didn't go into it saying, "Oh, I'm going to make a bunch of money from singing." I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Let me just use my talent.
Yeah.
Let me just sing and do what I love, and those things will attract things that I like to do as well."
Yeah, and you know what I think is important about that, is also important to me, is like understanding our gifts, right? Like
Hmm.
understanding our gifts and what we have to offer the world. And sometimes when we approach like, oh, I'm going to give and I'm going to put this gift out, you never know who's watching, like you said, and you never know where that avenue takes you. So
Right.
like I don't know if anyone is, whether it leads to money or not. I don't know if that, I don't think that's the important part. I think the
Right.
important part is sharing your gift and allowing other people to
Yeah.
see and experience it, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, and it was just a cherry on top that I got, monetary funds
Yeah,
from it. That, but at the end of the day, it was really awesome. So I want to share
that's
that as
cool.
well with y'all, and I wanted to share that story with you. Connie did make a comment. She said, "Oh my God, so much. Kat has taught me so much." So y'all are eventually gonna have to do an episode together,
Yeah, we should.
sharing some of those things. And we know I know personally some of the accomplishments that she's made this over these last few months, and then going into 2025. But
Mhm.
2025 is just around the corner. Another big thing that's happening really soon is the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And so we know as a community and as
Yeah.
parents, we get into this mindset of spending,
Yes.
right? We want to give our wonderful kids and primos and primas and tias and aunts and everybody a Christmas gift
Mm-hmm.
or something, right?
Yeah.
So can you give us some tips on like how to kind of manage that, and also, what does that look like? Obviously, you're not necessarily a budget, right? But what does that look
Mm-hmm.
like as a personal, like maybe a personal boundary?
Yeah, I love that word boundary. Yeah, I think the first thing I always think about is we're in the season, so there's 100 million different messages, media around us telling us it's time to buy. So I think that's the first thing to kind of be aware of, is that when you're out in the world, that people are wanting you to spend
Hmm.
money. Which is fine. Like, I think spending money is great. It's important. We all need to do it. We
Right.
need to spend money to live. But when it comes to the holidays, I think even if you're not someone that's been able to save up until this point, like for me, it's, I save throughout the year. I already have what's it called? Like a Christmas occasions fund. Like there's already money there that I know is going to be spent on Christmas. But if you don't have that ability to do that now, what you can do is like kind of sit down and look at your plan for the next few months, like your paychecks, the money coming in, and looking at, all right, I can spend this much on Christmas. Maybe it's $500. Like starting there and understanding how much you can reasonably spend without going into debt or throwing the rest of your finances off track. I think that's really important. And then from there, also thinking about, okay, what does it look like for me if I want to have a good Christmas and my kids to have what they want and my family members? What does it ideally look like, and how much would essentially spend on the quote unquote, I don't want to say perfect, but like high dollar Christmas?
Right.
Figuring out what's in the gap. If it's important that you want to create that money in the next few weeks, then do that. But I always look at it as, this is what's most important to me. Like I want to make sure that I'm able to spend time with my family and bring in meals or foods to like enjoy with them. That's
Yeah.
always number one. Number two, yes, I want my kids to have their gifts, but then I'm like, do they really need a $500? Like, no, they don't. So just being able to like make those decisions when it's time, like if this is my budget, $500, how far am I going to stretch that?
Right.
So kind of like making those decisions. And it's really just a practice, like it's a lifelong practice of being able to make those decisions for yourself. So this Christmas could really just be, yeah, a practice of that, of what I always think about money values, like what is most important to you when it comes to spending money and just figuring that out over this season.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I am, I see Angelica, thank you so much for joining with us today, this evening. Um, I've been on both sides of the coin. I've been on the side of like where I've given my kids some really elaborate gifts, especially for birthdays and stuff. But then I've also been like, listen, you get one big thing. Like pick one big thing. And I was the youngest of my family, so I got spoiled quite a bit. So I got a lot of yeses, but I also got some no's too. My parents would be like, "Hey, no, we can't do that." Like here I'm circling everything on the list of Toys R Us. Remember when Toys R Us used to do the pamphlet and I would circle, Santa bring me this, Santa bring me that.
Yeah, I think
So
they still do. No, not Toys R Us.
well, not Toys R
There's
Us.
like a Costco. There's something that's been
I
at my
think
house
Target,
recently.
Target,
Target. That's
Target
what it
does
is.
one
And I'm like,
now.
oh my
Yeah.
God.
But we are so glad to have had Kat on with us today, but we definitely want to end this with you sharing also any last words of wisdom, some thoughts about, anybody that's listening to this show live or later on they can come back and say, okay, I can take that and actually do something with it, right? So anything that you would like to share for our community out there?
Yeah, I think what I always think about is like if there's anything in this conversation that made you feel uncomfortable, or if still the thoughts around money or the feelings are really uncomfortable feelings, it's just a clue to, maybe explore more like what that feeling is. Because at the end of the day, I think it's important that we all feel like less stress, less unhappiness or whatever. And I know that money causes a lot of stress. So just paying attention to those
Yes.
feelings that come up, and it's just giving you clues to maybe things that it's important for you to work on soon. So that would just be something that I share, to pay attention to those uncomfortable feelings that come up.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that because I think like as we go back to our community, sometimes we're not taught or we don't know or we have these emotions or feelings of things about things and then we think that this is just how we're supposed to be and we kind of push through certain things and
We
thinking
avoid.
we avoid and or just like kind of like
Yeah,
like
hide and avoid.
yeah, and because that's what we were taught and at the end of the day that's not always the option, right? So we appreciate it. Let me see if there's any questions on here for our wonderful guests that are online with us. So I know Connie was on with us, Angelica's on with us. I see who else is on. If you have any questions for Kat, definitely chime in and send us drop some questions and we'll get to them. She did say Amazon sends one now.
Yeah, that's crazy. That might be what my kids are
The
looking at.
Amazon. Yeah, we try to stay away from that. But yeah, so if y'all have any questions, we can get to them. If not, no worries. But where can we find you and support you as well through your endeavors?
Yeah, so if you're on Instagram, you can follow me at Latina Millionaires Club. I think my website is up now, latinamillionairesclub.com. If you're interested, I always offer like a free 1 hour, 45-minute or 1 hour session through my page. So if you ever like want to figure stuff out or get some tips on like how to move forward with your money just to bring you like more peace in your life, you can actually book that call at the link in my Instagram bio.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you spending time with us this
Yeah, this was
evening.
fun.
This is our first episode for November. So if you took some value out of this episode, please like, subscribe, share with your family, share with the community. And we just appreciate all the love and support out there. But let's vámonos.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye. That was fun. I'm like, is it still going?
Yeah, just it's like just a delay. Oh, there it goes. Yeah.